Hey TV movie fans, today we'll be discussing a number of Nickelodeon shows coming to Paramount Plus, the brand new rebranded streaming service that originally was called CBS All Access. Yes, so we're going to be discussing those. We're not going to be discussing them in extremely focused detail because we're talking about a couple of them. Some of them are shows that are releasing literally today because Paramount Plus is releasing today. And then some of them are releasing in the coming year or so. So I figured I'd discuss them. One of them is brand new, literally just got announced today. And that's a big deal on its own. And I'll be discussing that in its own dedicated video in more detail than this one. But for starters, let's get started with the one that's releasing today. The one that's releasing today is Kamp Koral Under Years. Kamp Koral Under Years is a spin-off show based on the popular Spongebob TV series. It is meant to be a show taking place when the popular character Spongebob is going to camp as a little kid. He has all of his friends from the original show showing up in it. So everyone from Mr. Krabs, Squidward, Patrick, Sandy, Plankton are all showing up in it. Yes, Sandy shouldn't be in it because of continuity, but we don't need to get into that right now. Obviously, she wasn't even introduced to like the second or third episode, and it was the first time she actually had met them in that show. So there is that continuity issue, which has made people like say, this doesn't make sense. Also, the animation style has gotten a lot of criticism by a lot of fans because people just don't really like the look of it. I'm not the biggest fan of it myself, but I'm not like completely against it. But I understand like any kind of negative feelings people have had about it. And obviously there's the other point having to do with the late Steven Hillenburg's opinions of the show, because people have said that he was against having spin-off shows of SpongeBob, and yet he actually approved of this show when he was still alive. So that's something to keep in mind. So a lot of people have been misinterpreting it and seeing it two different ways, when in reality he was well aware of this, he supported this, it happened, it is what it is. So keep it in mind for anyone that is like, oh, he would not be in favor of this. Not true, because he supported it again. So moving on, the next show we'll be discussing is iCarly. Yes, they are rebooting iCarly. As of now, we do not know if all the major players are in it. They just released a little clip, I think the other day, that showcased a little segment from this new rebooted show. It features Nathan Kress, who played Freddy, Miranda Cosgrove, who played Carly, and Jerry Trainer, who played Spencer in it. We do not know if Jeanette McCurdy or any of the other characters from the show are set to return. It also looks like it's in a different location than the original show took place in, and Nathan Kress looks the most different of all of them because he has the facial hair now. He just looks a lot older than the rest of them do. They all look about the same. Otherwise, like as far as their appearance goes, I mean, Miranda Cosgrove has a different hairstyle now, but like Jerry Trainer looks exactly the same. So that's something to note as well. As far as other things go, I don't think we know when that show is supposed to be releasing, but it looks like it's gonna be releasing relatively soon, because if they're releasing a trailer, you would imagine there's a plan to release it in the near future. The other show that was announced recently is the Rugrats Cg show that is supposed to be like a reboot kind of show. It has an interesting animation style. It's very clean, very neat. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm kind of indifferent to it. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it. As someone who really grew up with that show and considers it one of my favorite Nickelodeon shows probably ever, it kind of is mixed for me. I don't hate it, I don't love it, but I think the animation style is okay. I am very happy that all the original actors are returning, especially since, again, the last time the Rugrats cast did anything was probably either for All Grown Up or something else, and the fact that they're getting everyone back that's still around for the babies is great. Obviously the one character that is going to be using their replacement voice actor, and it's not like a brand new replacement, but it's a replacement that came in later on in the show, was Nancy Cartwright to play Chucky, because Christine Cavanaugh, the original voice of Chucky, at one point ended up leaving the show, and then Nancy Cartwright took over as the voice of Chucky. So that's something to note as well. Nancy Cartwright, for those that are unaware, she plays Bart in The Simpsons. And as far as other things go, we do know that Tara Strong, who played Dale in the show, will not be showing up until the second season of the show, because they were initially planning on making it basically like how the original Rugrats was, where initially Dale was not introduced yet, and then the following season we'll have him in the show. The clip that they've released so far does not show any of the parents, so we don't know how the parents play into it yet. But I'll be doing another video specifically on the Rugrats Cg show as well, talking a little bit more in detail about that later. So the next show on the list of shows that I'd like to discuss is one that we only have information about. Actually, there's two of them, but this is one that we've only heard very little information about, and that is the Fairly Oddparents live action show. Yes, they are releasing a live action Fairly Oddparents show. Some people will be very happy to hear it. Other people, I'm sure, are going to be like not particularly happy about that. But yeah, so Fairly Oddparents was a show that lasted from like 2001 to I think 2017 or something like that. Crazy long show, and was very popular. The creator of the show is Butch Hartman. He is coming back apparently. Some people are not particularly happy about that, because he's been receiving a lot of negative press as of late online because of a lot of the things he's been saying through his YouTube channel. Again, I'm not going to get into that here, but if you ever look online, you can find some pretty negative stuff about him. Anyway, he is coming back. They're doing this live action show. We don't know much about it as of now. I don't think we even know the cast. We also have no idea what it's going to look like as far as how they're going to bring in the fairies. Like, are they going to be CG characters? Are they going to be human-like? Are they going to have a different function in some way? How will they make a fairy world that's in live action, or will they have a live action fairy world? How will this all work? I don't know yet. We'll have to find out and see. We also don't know, like, obviously how these characters will look. Will they look much older, or will they look very young looking? I mean, again, Timmy Turner was a very small character, but again, he was animated, so like, how will that translate to a live action show? And so we really don't know a whole lot about that. And then the most recent show that was just announced today is one that was greenlit, and it's been discussed for a while, but we didn't really know anything about it for sure. And that is the new spin-off show for SpongeBob. Yes, a second spin-off show, which is called The Patrick Star Show. Yes, so they're releasing a Patrick Star show, supposed to premiere this summer, actually. And it is supposed to, and the description of it says, Nickelodeon is diving deeper, diving deeper into Bikini Bottom to give fans a look at our lovable young adult Patrick Star and his entire family with a sitcom only he could imagine up, said Ramsey Nato, president, Nickelodeon Animation. The second original spin-off show allows us to expand the stories and tell more about these characters. So, yeah, so we are getting a spin-off show based on Patrick Star. It's supposed to be him younger, staying with his parents now instead of being with his friends, SpongeBob, Patrick, and everyone, living at home. And apparently he's supposed to be hosting his own televised show. So in this case, this show, and also living with his parents. His family includes his younger sister Squidina, his father Cecil, and his mother Bunny, as well as his grandfather Grandpat. So this is a new show, and apparently all the original actors from the original SpongeBob show are supposed to make some sort of appearance. We know that SpongeBob is, Patrick is, Squidward is, Patrick obviously is because Patrick's the main character, but yeah, Squidward, SpongeBob, Mr. Krabs, Plankton are all supposed to be making some appearances, as well as even Squidward's grandmother is supposed to make an appearance, which is interesting. I don't know why that is. I'm guessing it has to do something with like Grandpa having a relationship with, or like maybe being friends with Grandma Tentacles. We'll find out obviously when the show releases, but anyway, yeah, this is a brand new show. It sounds like it's gonna be something cute and interesting to say the least. I do not know what to say yet, but based on all these, I would say that if you're a fan of Nickelodeon, you have some really interesting properties releasing in the near future. I would say in the next year, you can expect some fun things to come out. And again, this is just discussing some of the reboot and spin-off shows. There are other things that I'm not sure if they're specifically going to be for streaming or not for Nickelodeon, such as the the Loud House movie that's supposed to be releasing, which has this very interesting cel-shaded animation style that looks very different. It looks like it's supposed to take place in like England or somewhere in Europe. And the images that they've shown off for it are pretty detailed and unique and very different from the main show, which has a completely different animation style. I mean, it looks like it might be actually CG, which is interesting. And I'm very curious because again, I really do like the Loud House. Very popular show. I believe they're going to be on their 5th or 6th season now, coming soon, which is pretty crazy considering how popular the show has really gotten in recent years. But yeah, so all these more are coming. And again, some of these shows, I think Kamp Koral is one of the big ones that's supposed to determine like whether or not they can do more properties. Because like, who knows? Maybe we'll get like, I don't know, what would be another? I don't know. It could be Danny Phantom. Could be a Invader Zim. Who knows? There's a lot of different possibilities for a Nick reboot. They could do Ren and Stimpy if they want to do something more edgy and mature. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But overall, I'm very curious and interested to see how all these play out, and I hope they're good. I mean, I genuinely do. The one that, if any of them, I would say the one that I'm most interested in seeing how it does is the Rugrats one, just because I'm a huge Rugrats fan. I grew up with that show, and it was such a fun show. And I've rewatched the show so many times at this point. I just love that series. But also, I love all these. I love the originals of all these shows, so I'm very curious to see how all these will work out. So anyway, that's about it for me, guys. Again, this is Alex from Total TV and Film, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.